In today's video, we are going to cover a variety of fabrics that you can use to scrunch your hair wet. You can use it to scrunch your hair dry. Some people use these flour sack towels, combination towels, different fabric towels to scrunch products into their hair. There's a variety of uses that you can use these for, so today's video is all about that. So let's get right into it. One of the first things that I learned years ago was Diva was a major supplier for hairstylists, so this is a hairstylist perspective. So I know on Instagram, YouTube, and some of these other Facebook groups, there is a consumer perspective and an influencer perspective, so nobody's sponsoring me for these tips, ideas, and suggestions. I am an independent brand, and I thoroughly recommend all hairstylists become an independent brand. Have your own personal brand and do not take brand influence into consideration. So this is like Consumer Reports testing out a variety of different fabrics, a variety of different towels, and one of the major influencers years ago for me as a hairstylist was Diva. So you got this Diva towel, and when you finally open it up, and I got a stack of towels over here, when you open it up, it gives you a microfiber content, and it's got the Diva logo on there. So when you take this and you scrunch your hair with it, it really sucks out a lot of water. And over time I started noticing that if you dry out your hair too much with a fabric, you can really start to invite a little bit of frizz. So the frizz happens when hair is dry and it's underhydrated and it starts puffing out. But also you got to take into consideration what a fabric does. A fabric contributes to halo, those little individual hairs that pop out during the day, that's different from the formation that's created with for example, the map method. Creates a lot of nice formations, but the fabric, you can squeeze it and all of a sudden it starts popping out halos. So that's a little bit different than if you squeeze it aggressively, and some people are scrunching their hair with a fabric like this, and when they let it down, it's already separated, it's started getting dysfunctional instead of having functional frizz. Now functional frizz gives your hair some volume, so if you make your hair too compressed and too flat, you can be a little bit frustrated. It may look nice, and some people get a better day 2 and day 3 from a compressed day 1 look. So you can really start to take this, and microfiber towels, and when you run your hand over it like this, you may not know that you have little invisible skin tags on your hand, but a way of finding out if you do or not is by taking this and running it over, and you can start to feel these little skin tags that are on your hair. So taking this fabric of microfiber, over time I just found out it's really good for cleaning my glasses. So I use microfiber towels to dust with, to do all sorts of things. I don't use these on your hair. Now you may have a hairstylist that uses microfiber towels on your hair and get a successful result. But if you're a client or a consumer and you go home and try to do this on yourself, a lot of times without proper product application, you can get a dysfunctional look. So let's go on to exploring. Now this Diva towel is no longer made. They came out with a new one, and the new one comes in a box, and it looks like that. And I gotta say, this thing is huge. When you unfold it, this thing is huge. Now when you first feel this towel, it feels yummy and soft, something like what you'd want to cover yourself up with in watching Netflix series and just comfort yourself with it. And I have to say, this sometimes works actually really nice on some clients' hair. In my opinion, it's a little bit too absorbent. Some people plop with this, and if you plop with it more than a couple minutes, you can start sucking out too much moisture, or you can actually start drying your hair in an unnatural curl pattern. So when you let your hair down, and if you air dry it or start diffusing, you can accentuate the unnatural curl pattern and start developing dysfunctional frizz. But some people really like these. But again, I love using this thing on a table cleaner, glass cleaner, a duster. So it's universal. Now, I gave these out to a lot of people, and I would say most of the people said thanks for the towel. They're going to use it to dust their iPad or clean their iPad, but they are not using it on their hair. Some people are using it on their hair, but I would say this is not like an optimal Consumer Reports choice. I would give this a lower grade, but it's a nice towel for a lot of other things. So now I have some curly hairstylist friends, and one of my friends is Krista Levitt in Canada, and she's the curl specialist. She has a wonderful curl course as well for learning how to embrace your hair. Now, she's pretty smart. She took this towel, and it's kind of stretchy. You can see it stretches a little bit. And one of the things that it's also kind of made of is t-shirt material, and I love old t-shirts. So if you can find an old t-shirt and use this on your hair, what starts to happen is you are pressing products into the hair instead of extracting them like a microfiber towel has a habit of doing. But when you press the products into your hair, and these things aren't super absorbent either, so you start out drying with a little bit of a wetter style and a wetter look on your hair, but in the long run it dries and sets better looking. So the wetter the better for setting. So that's a tongue tire: setting, wetter, better, all combined together. So I really like this towel. I do not retail these. This was just gifted to me. So I want to go into another towel. So this is by the Curl Bots, and these are a group of ladies in Colorado, and I want to show you when you hold this up, and it's kind of hard to see, but it's very transparent. It's very see-through. So when you scrunch up with this kind of flour sack towel, which is what this is with their own logo put on it, and I love that, it absorbs water very quickly, and it presses products in very quickly. Now, some people love a more absorbent, so it's just like 1-ply toilet paper versus 2-ply toilet paper. This is like 1-ply. It's very absorbent. It sucks things in really quickly. Some people love this, some people don't like it. Some people will scrunch up and they use the same wet spot to scrunch their hair. Some people go to a dry spot and a dry spot and a dry spot, and they rotate the towel around. So that's a different method also as well. So if you are in Colorado, I recommend that you guys get up with those guys in Colorado. Now, somebody in Canada, and this is like a shag carpet, and this is very soft. It would be like something that you want to cuddle up with. Sometimes some people have scarves. I felt scarves that are like these as well. So it's almost like a shag carpet. You can see the texture of it. It's a little bit raised up, and I actually tried this a few times and it worked out really well. Now, the weird thing is, I don't know where to get these. It was a friend of mine in Canada, and so it was a lady that sent this to me to sample it out to see if I liked it. I do like it, but I don't really retail a variety of different fabric things. But I just wanted to show you guys this, because if you find a fabric like this in the fabric store, give it a try and see if you like it. So there's some other independent people that sell a lot of different fabrics, and this one for a drying your hair for a flour sack towel is a hair remedy towel, and this thing is pretty big. I really like the color of it. This is very thick. It's way thicker than a t-shirt material. Now, come to find out, this has a like a t-shirt material on both sides, and in between sewn in, because there are these little sewing marks that hold an underlying fabric that's very absorbent. So when you use this, and it absorbs into the material, and it really does give you a nice effect. So this is by Hair Remedy, and I got this one on Amazon, and I believe they have a link that you can get this through. So of course, back in the day, I was given by Diva one of their old t-shirts, and these t-shirts just aren't available anymore. But this is kind of fun. Are you curly or are you straight? And it's got the Diva. But this also, if you have a shirt sometimes like this, one of the best things to do is turn the shirt inside out and fabric scrunch like a tube. This is really helpful for people, like if you're in a hotel room and you forget to bring something, good golly, you can take they give you 15 pillows to use, take a pillowcase off, put your hand in it and create a tube and scrunch your hair with it. It works really well. So that's just more of a tip and just a little bit of fun flyback nostalgia to an old t-shirt. If some of you guys have a t-shirt like that, I think it's really cute, and they don't sell those anymore, and I got one as a part of my purchase order. There's another lady that is in San Diego, and it's Me, My Curls, and I. Now she came up, you can see the texture of this flour sack material. It's very thick and it's pliable, and I really do like it. Now she came up with something unique. It's very, look at this. It's almost like a table runner. It's long and thin. And it's very unique. Now you try to scrunch your hair, it's not wide, but it's super long. So she's got a very unique towel. If you're in San Diego, you need to go by and see Suzanne. Suzanne Kindy is an awesome curly hair specialist. So I gotta say, some of the favorite flour sack towels that I get are it looks like red, white, and blue, and that's just by coincidence. In the United States, we're coming up to the 4th of July, and I didn't plan that, but looking at it in the screen, I can see that. Now, these flour sack towels I get from Target. When you go into the kitchen sections, they're usually a kitchen towel. If you can find a towel that Grandma used to have, she would normally dry dishes with these, or sometimes when you go into a nice Italian restaurant, they put this flour sack towels, kitchen towels, and they put bread inside there and cover up the bread to keep it warm, and they bring it to your table. Those are awesome. The older ones that are 20, 30, 40 years old from Grandma, even better if you can get those. So these are flour sack towels in the kitchen section of Target, and they usually have a lot of white ones. When I find some of these color ones, and this one's actually a light blue, darker blue, and this one's like an orange in reality. I don't know how it shows up on screen, but these are wonderful for pressing in product, extracting a little bit of water, not pulling out much halo, and it sets you up for a nice air dry, diffuse, or a hood dryer if you have one of those at home. So there's a couple tips on how to use fabric to scrunch in your hair, scrunch in product, help contribute to drying your hair faster, drying your hair slower. There's a lot of options and possibilities that I discuss in the MAP method, as well as my curly hair artistry training. I'm founder of Curly Hair Artistry. So if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you put those down below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Have an awesome day.